I don't have like an audience to lose here. I'm building, so I don't mind. Let's have some fun and get real with the people, you know?
Okay, I am here today with my special guest and friend, Dr. Vincent Pedre. I appreciate you joining me. You're a board certified functional medicine MD, a gut health expert, not just that, America's gut doctor, a big ol' Instagram following, and you just wrote a new book, The Gut Smart Protocol. Thanks for coming, man. Thanks for joining me.
Yes, sir. It's great to be here. From the playa in Mexico to Miami, we've seen each other a lot.
We have, man. It's funny. We're both doing this Miami thing at least part of the year, and it's great to hang out with you when you're down here. I always like having friends that know more than I do about health. So this is great. I've got lots of questions for you today. I really want to dig in and give people valuable takeaways. You know, of course, why you're writing a book, why you're doing all of these things. A big thing in life is impact. Why are you doing something and what's the impact you're creating? And I know you're creating a ton of impact. With that being said, let's dive in. I'm going to throw you a couple softballs to start. When you're picking a probiotic, what should they be looking for?
Okay, number one, you need to pick up and look at the label. And one of the things that you want to check on that label is, do the probiotics that are listed on it. So it might have a lactobacillus, acidophilus, a bifidobacterium, bifidus, bifidobacterium infantis, whatever it is. Does it also have a code right after it? So is there like an L0H1? And what that code tells you is that that strain is a strain that has actually been clinically studied to have positive health effects. Anybody who's listened to this, go to the supermarket, pick up any probiotic, and I bet you that more than 50% of them are not going to have that code. It's just going to say lactobacillus, bifidobacterium. That's just telling you they're just using generic strains. What if it says proprietary formula? And, you know, it's got a lot of great advertising around it. And it says proprietary formula, 484 milligrams of all these strains. Well, all that tells me is that the strains that go in there are dependent on what's available at the time that the capsule is being made. And the proprietary formula is a way for them to change depending on what the supply is. They're not honoring whether they're using the clinically shown strengths for each of the probiotic strains in there. So another thing you want to look at is each probiotic listed by strength. And strength in probiotics is shown as CFUs, colony forming units. And so colony forming units tells you how strong a probiotic is. Typical probiotic might be 20 to 30 billion in total, in aggregate. Some people that have inflammatory bowel disease might want to go on a probiotic that is over 300 or 400 billion strength because they need a lot of probiotic bacteria. Next thing is, how is that bottle, how has it been designed?
And what do you mean by that? How has it been designed?
Is it protected from light? If it's a glass bottle, is it dark so that light doesn't get in there and degrade the probiotic? Does it have a desiccant on the inside? So there are some companies that create a desiccant lined probiotic bottle that absorbs moisture and that also preserves the longevity of the probiotic. Some probiotics are actually in nitrogen sealed containers where it's like a blister pack and you push out each one. That also preserves the longevity of the probiotic, because typically when a probiotic is made, if it's kept at room temperature, not all of them are going to do as well. So a lot of them.
I was going to ask about that. What about refrigeration? You always see these things in the fridge and some are on the shelf. I don't get
Yeah, some of them need to be refrigerated, and the ones that don't need to be refrigerated actually have that moisture absorbing desiccant that's lined on the inside of the bottle that actually increases the shelf life of the bottle, and it can be okay at room temperature. Go to Whole Foods. The ones that are in the refrigerator, a lot of times are just in these glass bottles that are not lined with a desiccant. If you take a probiotic that's refrigerated in a glass bottle and you put it at typical room temperature, 70s, if it was a 50 billion strain probiotic, it's going to start degrading pretty fast. So, you know, if it takes you like 2 or 3 months to take it, by the end of the third month, the potency in that probiotic might not be the same. So a lot of companies will do something called overage. So
okay, and what is overage?
It's basically if it says that this is a 50 billion CFU probiotic, that is what's in the capsule, what they've actually done at manufacturing is they've filled that capsule up to 70 to 80 billion. And what they're doing is they're putting some overage because there's going to be some natural decay and loss of the probiotic. But if it's stored according to the directions, according to recommendations, it should have those 50 billion CFUs at the time of expiration on that bottle. And the
Okay.
only way to get there is to start with an overage. If the capsule has 50 billion when it's put out, when it's actually manufactured, by the time it gets to the expiration date, it's going to be down to 30 billion. It's
Wow.
not going to be at 50 billion. What a reputable company will do in order to ensure that that probiotic is viable and is at the potency that it says that it's going to be at expiration, they start with a higher count.
That makes sense.
So these are the kind of the things that you want to look at that people don't think about. You know, you just pick up, you're like, oh, I need a probiotic. Let me pick up a probiotic.
And there's
Oh, it's
so
a
many options.
proprietary blend. That must be really good. Like they've thought about this. It's like a special blend. No, proprietary blend is not special. It's actually the least special thing you can get.
That's good to know. So people have some watch outs, things to look for. And a lot of people that are going to look for, they're out there looking for something for their gut. They may have heard of something called leaky gut. And people say, okay, maybe I have a leaky gut. I need to fix it. Can you explain in simple terms what a leaky gut is and how does someone know if they have it?